Hey everyone, I'm Jake from gsquaredyoyos, and today I want to tell you about one of our yo-yos. Today, we're going to talk about the G-Squared Banshee. Now this isn't going to be a review, I'm just going to tell you the specs and a little bit about the background of the yo-yo. So we'll go ahead and start out with the specs. They'll pop up on the screen for you, and I'm going to go ahead and run down them as well. The diameter we have is 56 millimeters. We went with a width of 43 millimeters, a weight of 66.8 grams. Now the Banshees are shipping with two bearings. It comes installed with the Boss Rage, which is a concave with a groove in the middle, and then you're also going to be able to get a Boss Wrath in the package, and that's going to be your flat bearing in case that's more your style. So that is the starting point, and now let's go into a little bit of the backstory so that you guys can just understand what our thought process was and our design process and ideas when we were making the Banshee. The Banshee for gsquaredyoyos was our first yo-yo that we put 100% of our effort in making sure that we kept competition on our mind. A lot of our yo-yos can be used to compete. I know a lot of people like to use the Aftershock for a competition yo-yo, which is great. It wasn't the sole purpose of the yo-yo though, which is where we went with the Banshee. Now, the first step I guess we'll talk about for the Banshee is you can tell it's a V-shape, which a lot of yo-yos are V-shaped that are competition based. What is that? It's basically super wide catch zone. Anywhere you hit the yo-yo, that string is going into the catch zone. And it also just allows for a good shape to allow you to pack some weight out on the rim so that you can have great stability. And that's one of the things we focused on with the Banshee. So while we packed the weight on the rim, that's not just for long spin times. What we did was we made sure that we wanted to get that stability just right, because a lot of players are throwing horizontal combos right now. So basically the Banshee is super stable, and what that means is if you throw it horizontal, it's going to try and stay exactly on that plane that you throw it horizontal on. Hey, if you're doing a regular combo and you throw it, it's going to try and stay on that plane as well. It's going to be a little bit harder to adjust the plane by accident, where you're hitting the string on the side of the yo-yo, or on purpose. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, you might know that the Banshee had multiple versions released out into the wild. The first version we did make a small run of, and then we thought was going to be the production run, but there was issues with the machining of that design. It was a little bit too wide, caused for some vibe issues, but that ended up being a blessing in disguise. We were able to get that out into the market, and it was just a cheap way for us to get it out in the market. We were able to recoup some of our costs instead of just scrapping the project. And that way people were able to give me feedback about what they thought about the yo-yo, differences that they wanted to have that they thought would improve it a little bit. And one of the main things we did run into with the original version 1 Banshee was the spin times were just a little bit low. So what we did with the final version, we just packed some more weight on the rim, thinned it out a little bit. I think almost 2 millimeters actually from the version 1. We thinned it out, so that gave us some weight to play with and push out to the rim. Also, they really liked the finish, and the version 1 finish was an experiment for us. It was what we are calling now is our G2 Diamond Blast. No, it's not blasted with diamonds, but it is a nice aggressive blast that is super soft in your hand. It's great for finger grinds, super good for finger spins. So it was something that we really enjoyed, and we are glad that everybody else gave us positive feedback on that first version so that we could take it into this production run. Now, talking about the Diamond Blast, not all of our anodizers can do that same blasting setup, so depending on which run you buy, it may or may not have the Diamond Blast. It's always going to have a bead blast, because if it's not bead blasted, it's not going to be finger spin friendly. It's not going to grind very well. I just don't enjoy it for fun play or competitive play. So go ahead and shoot me an email, gsquaredyoyos@gmail.com, and ask me if the one you're looking at to buy has Diamond Blast or not. But most of the time it's going to have a blast, because it's got to have blast if it's going to be a G-Squared basically. Now we're going to go ahead and run down the colors. I don't want to start with that one. We're going to go ahead and start with the burnt orange, a super cool shade of orange that we have in this first run. We've got the royal blue, and then we have a seafoam green. All three colors came out super vibrant. I'm not sure if that was just this specific anodizer or if it's also partial to the blast. Now, along with those three solid colors, we also have the 50-50 splits. Last but not least, the blue and orange, one of my personal favorites. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, guys. It was just supposed to be a little introduction, a little bit of the backstory to let you know what we were thinking when we made the Banshee. Whether you're watching it before the original release or 2 years down the road and you're thinking about getting a Banshee, it's still gonna give you a backstory on what we wanted to do when we first made this yo-yo. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.